Houston, we've had a problem.
And it looks like a devil, man, a demon.
And this thing is big.
And the next thing I know, it was right over top of us.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Lost Frequency Podcast. I'm Tom.
And I'm Rye.
And today we have on a Mr. Casey Hammond. It's going to be an interesting story, I'm sure, nonetheless. Rye hasn't told me too much about it, like we always like to do, so you get our honest reactions to what we're listening to.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to, let me just adjust this a little bit.
We're going to move this guy.
Yeah, so we got to working on a little bit of a different computer today because we've been bouncing around because I've been having issues with my computer, but I do have one on order. When it gets here, no one knows.
It is Mexico, so you just kind of cross your fingers.
It's not coming from Mexico. It's even coming from a worse place.
Why? It's not worse. It's just different, right?
Yeah. It's sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, right. I'm going to be.
It's coming in from China. So
I'm going to be the SJW.
We're coming in from China. But they were questioning my. They said that it was a medium risk area, so I actually had to send them a picture of my ID and information. So
that's weird coming from them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But it was
like your ID.
Well, because it's actually through Shopify. It was kind of like they work through Shopify, the main.
Yeah,
but
you're connected to CPP now. We all know you're a spy. Yeah. So housekeeping. You're listening to us on YouTube, so do us a favor and like and subscribe down there at the bottom, and click the notification bell so you don't miss your favorite episode of the Lost Frequency.
Yeah, and make sure you comment. Send us a comment, and if you have any stories, like we do reach out to people on Reddit, and that's where I met Casey. So again, this is number 2 from Reddit.
Yes.
So if you have any information or any experience,
any
information of the whereabouts of my
hair,
my well-being,
my hair.
Well, my hair is missing up here too. So yeah, but mine's just migrating down my back. Heading south for the summer, I guess, or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's about it. Just send us an email, lostfrequencypodcast@gmail.com.
And
that's about it. Yeah. Why don't we just jump right into this? And okay, so let's welcome to the Lost Frequency, Casey Hammond.
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. Thank you, Casey, for joining us on the Lost Frequency podcast. Looking forward to hearing from you. But before we do, let's tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. And if there's anything you want to promote, now's the time. Or if you don't, just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
I'm Casey. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, little heart of the Midwest. I left here after high school, joined the military, Navy guy. So yeah, sorry. I know you're on me, but there I was a trained lookout. I taught our lookouts, our ship's lookouts, how to spot things, what different things were. I had access to basically every single type of plane, be it secret or top secret stuff, just to be able to show you outlines or silhouettes of a plane so that you could spot it even better. So then I'm back in Indianapolis and I get into law enforcement. I get a chance to plug stuff still though, don't I?
Yes.
So let me go ahead and do my little plug here. If anybody's out there and wants to purchase some stuff from me, I'm selling some kindness. It's super easy. All you have to do is send me a nice thought, and share that thought with other people. There's a lot of people out there hurting right now, financially, politically, family wise. We're moving into the holidays. A lot of people out there dealing with stuff that we don't even know what's going on. So just shoot them a smile. Maybe somebody in the checkout line or something. Just
Yeah.
be
I
kind.
have this. I have those thoughts a lot, Casey. You know, you're sitting there drinking a Coca-Cola or something. You're like, you know how many people right now are looking at ducks in the world? Like stuff like that. Just weird thoughts. So yeah, man, if you're gonna send out kindness, yeah, dude,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's the best plug we've had all
Have it.
season.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Just
I love it. I love it, and I love the the humor behind it too. You know, but also with genuine sincerity as well.
So you're a former seaman in the
Yes.
in the old Navy there.
Yes.
I was in the U.S. Army. How long were you in?
6 years. 6
Six.
years.
Oh, you beat me. I did. Is that the like 6 active?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You beat me on that. I only did 4, but so yeah, I could never be on a ship, dude. So congrats to you. I can't do
Yeah.
that.
It was awesome. I really did enjoy it. Yeah.
You didn't
Just the
enjoy it?
I did. The
Oh, you did?
camaraderie
Okay.
was awesome. Yeah, just the
Right.
people that you meet. And so,
Yeah, that part I will always miss. That thing where it's like you're in a foxhole with somebody.
What kind of ship were you on?
the Arleigh Burke, or the Always Broke, as we called it. Yeah,
What kind of
DDG.
class is that?
Is that a
Like
frigate or is
battleship
it a
or-
frigate or battleship? What is it?
It's its own class. Arleigh Burke is a Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer. It's first of its kind.
Cool.
So yeah,
So a destroyer.
yeah, DDGs. Arleigh Burke's that original. So
Oh wow.
Cool. That is interesting.
Yeah.
I've actually always been intrigued by the Navy. I thought the
Well,
Navy
you do
was awesome.
swim well. You're a good swimmer. So.
That was actually, if I ever joined military,
He would
or
be in the
Navy,
Canadian Navy. So
yeah, it'd be the Canadian Navy
I don't know.
up in the ice. We'd be ice locked.
yeah.
Everybody throwing-
We ran into a bunch of Canadian sailors while we were in Canada. Imagine that.
Imagine that. I know. Imagine running
That
into
is-
Canadians up in Canada.
Crazy.
They all kept trying to get us to enlist. Like they were like, "Yeah, you can just transfer your citizenship, and you guys can just come on and be Canadian sailors. It's super easy to do. We'll help you out." But
Is that legit or is that bullshit?
no, I mean, I have no idea if it was real or not. But you know,
We're
people
like,
tell
as
stories
Americans,
all
we're like, it ain't happening.
the time. Yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank
Yeah,
you. though.
yeah. I'm on the always broke, but I don't want to be on I can't float.
Ah. So, dude, you got a story you want to tell us? Why don't you go ahead and get into this? Let's have a good time, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So after the military, I fell into law enforcement through a good friend of mine. Started on Marion County, the sheriff's department out here, and then went to a museum, a campus police department. Worked night shift there. I'd probably been there about 2 years. It's called the Indianapolis Museum of Art. It's not that anymore. It's something new. But it's on. Are you familiar with Eli Lilly? They do
The name?
pharmaceuticals.
Eli Lilly, is that the? Okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wrong, is that the guy with the dolphins?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
It's pharmaceuticals.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So they do
Eli Lilly, is that the guy? Hold on, I'm not trying to be funny. I swear, I've heard the name.
Okay.
So pharmaceuticals, was he? It's a drug though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
pharmaceutical
Not drug.
company.
Not what you think. Like an
No,
illicit,
no,
an
no.
illicit drug.
I don't
right?
know. I understand, but it's like he just said he's in pharmaceuticals. You're like, it's a drug, right?
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
like,
but it's
yes,
not what I
because it's
mean.
pharmaceuticals. Yes.
They drug the dolphins. That makes
Oh, I like that. I like
Who's
where you
the guy
go with
the
this.
dolphins now. I got to look that up.
With Flipper.
No, that's the 60s, right?
it. So Eli Lilly
Mescaline.
actually originally owned all this museum property way back in the day in the neighborhood where my sighting took place. A bunch of people that worked at his company lived back in this neighborhood. It's a historic neighborhood through the national park system, actually, now. But so they donated all the property for the museum. They left a bunch of money. Their old house is on the museum property, and you can tour it and things of that nature.
Okay.
So anyway, I worked at this museum. every night we would have to go over and do a tour of the historic district, the neighborhood, because some bigwigs lived back there, and we had property in the museum owned a home back in that area, so we had to just go check it. My partner and I were leaving museum property and heading over to this area right across the street. Very short drive, maybe 2 minutes. And I'm trying to think of the name of it. Bertha Park is right in there, and Golden Hills National Historic District. There we go. Anyway, my partner and I, we take separate routes to come in, just to be able to check twice as much half the time. We come to an intersection where we meet at a T, in front of an old gorgeous house that's under, it's getting revamped, everything. Nobody's living there. There's a dumpster out front. They're completely rehabbing it. And we noticed some lawn ornaments out front. Pretty big lawn ornaments, like 4 to 6 feet. So I'm gonna say right at 5 feet, but somewhere in there. And they look like discs. So we pull in there, we stop, we both kind of get out of our car and look like, hey, like that's different. It's a rich neighborhood. So we're thinking somebody had a party, they just had some weird looking lawn ornaments left over, like, and they all went in for the night. It is night shift. This is about 1 in the morning, so there's not anybody up. I guess to put a time frame on it too, I'm kind of all over the place. We're looking at July of 2013, second, third week of July, so it's nice and hot out. About 1 in the morning, we're looking at these lawn ornaments. Then all of a sudden, it looks like they're balloons, and somebody has cut the strings on these things. They start floating up, I would say about 5 feet off the deck, and then they just kind of stop, and these lights come on. So now I'm really getting a good look at it. And the bottoms of them, I can't see the tops at this point because now they're overhead. The tops, before they started floating up, kind of look like a mylar material, like a balloon, which is what made me think these are some balloons.
Now, just a question: with you
Yeah.
saying that you thought they were balloons, did they change shape, or were they still in that disc form?
They stayed in that disc form the whole time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no shape change, nothing like that. I'm not even weirded out at this point because I'm still thinking they're balloons, and for some reason they just stopped floating. But the underneath looks more like a. When I describe it, have you seen those like Asian changing little dividers in rooms? Like people go behind them and change. And you
Yes.
see a
Oh, yeah, it's like-
silhouette of-
The Japanese,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. There's like
Yeah.
rice paper kind
They're in
of.
that movie with the panda. Yeah. Kung
Yeah,
Fu Panda.
So that's what this looks like on the underneath, is like burnt wood holding in rice paper. Like the bottom is a yellow, or like a yellowish tint to it, and a light, almost like the light that's right over my head today. So these lights turn on, and now the rice paper itself, the paper, whatever this material is, looks like the light itself. Like it's not like a light shade or a light behind it, but the whole thing is lit up. Like everything this paper has become light, but it's not like it's a super bright light, but not like a light that's like lighting up anything. It's just lit. Does that make
like an
any sense?
ambient type of glow, almost kind of to it.
Yeah. So at this point, these things have floated up about 6 feet. My partner and I are just looking at each other like, okay, this is weird. The lights turn on, and then they started floating a little bit more. At this point, like I'm understanding they're under control. Like they're not being driven by a wind, or they're not balloons at this point. Like maybe there's some sort of drone. This is 10 years ago, before DJI, and so I'm not really sure what kind of drone it would be, but maybe like a balloon with a fan behind it, I have no idea. But so now they've started flying at this point. And then they kind of like connect. So as one moves one way, the other one gyroscopes the other way. And one kind of comes back this way and dances back this way, but they're always like connected, like they move in sync together as they're traveling up. And I guess it'd be eastward at that point. And then they just kind of all around just dance around. So they start picking up their gyration of like dancing around each other. Sometimes they'll make like full circles, sometimes they'll make little half circles and switch back, but they're like dancing, and it's obvious they're connected. Like if they're not under a single control, like if it's two separate entities controlling these, then those two are connected. They're like partners, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they know each
Yeah.
other's moves, and they're moving in sync together, like dancing partners.
Yeah.
So yeah, and at this point, so you know, I never really discussed this part with my partner, but like I'm having these thoughts in my head, like, what the hell is that? Who are they? Like, who is this? And then I get a thought back in my head, like we're scientists, not like they're scientists. Like I'm having this thought, but like something's communicating back with me.
Like mind speak. Like we've
Yeah.
heard this often about something called mind speak. Now, just rewinding a little bit, when you first saw these and you were sitting there standing there with your partner, like you got out of your cars, how far away were you from these discs to begin with?
Maybe 20 feet, 15, 20 feet.
How many? These were the lawn ornaments you thought were the lawn ornaments?
Yeah, we thought they were lawn ornaments because they were.
And it
just
was how many
sitting on a lawn?
How many was there? Two. Okay.
About 5
And then they
feet.
started doing this.
This
Then they started
dance,
doing this
yes.
dance.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And-
How large
and-
were they? How large were they, Casey?
So they would have been about, I say about 5 feet, but 4 to 6 feet roughly wide. And then tall wise, they would have been about maybe 2.5, 3 feet off the ground.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So like, and I'm never really having this thought like these are UFOs or
Because
there's
because
something
you
in
would
these.
like they're too small. They're just
yeah.
like something. Yes.
So I mean, it just never even occurred to me that there would be something alive in there or anything in there. Like they just look like they were too small. Nothing's getting in there. So yeah, so now they're dancing at this point, and we're kind of having a conversation. And my next thought was, well, what are you doing here? And I got the response, we're just doing tests. And it's very short answers, like very direct. And I just remember not having a need to question it or having a need for like multiple scenarios. Like, you know, when I'm in investigation mode, I'm thinking, okay, what are these? What is this? Okay, it could be a balloon, it could be a drone, it could be this, it could be that, and it's just it's like simple responses back, and I'm accepting them. Like, and
Yeah,
that's
like they're
just
satisfying somehow. They're like satisfying your inquiries.
Now this response back, is it a different voice or is it like your own voice? You're hearing your own voice with your responses.
I don't want to say my own voice. It's just
Yeah.
I don't even want to say voices in general, because it was like images or feelings or impressions. Yeah, I don't think I could say a voice per se.
Okay. Yeah. Like it was just an understanding then. It was almost like an understanding is what you're saying then of what it was.
Yeah. Like it is my voice. Like when I'm thinking in my head, it's my voice that's talking. But the response is more like images or just a matter of fact, this is what it is. So yeah, I think like a few other questions were, why are you testing? And the response was, the Earth is dying. And again, it's not like word responses, more like image responses or
Yeah.
feelings and impressions, and it wasn't like Earth, like just the dirt or something. It was like a person, the Earth, like I
Oh,
don't know how
yeah.
to best describe
Yeah.
that. Like
Like an
the
entity,
Earth.
like a
Guinan
being.
or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Like this is like almost like you're living on a whale, or like that.
Yeah,
the
man.
turtle is carrying the Earth, and
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. And then some other quick conversation was I have to tell somebody, and the response was the people that need to know already know. Like, who are you going to tell? There's nobody to tell. And then I was like, at this point, so they're slowly starting to like move away from me and gain altitude, which they never gain more than maybe 15, 20 feet in altitude. The whole time they're starting to slowly move away. At this point, my inclination is to just pull a gun and shoot it. Like, just fuck it, right? Like, nobody's gonna believe me. Let's show somebody. I can even remember putting my hand on my gun and just being like, all right, here we go. And then just the immediate response of, you're gonna go to jail, and like just all this bad stuff is gonna happen if you do this.
What is it, the
You're
mafia?
gonna be fired. Yeah. And looking back on it, I'm like, dude, why didn't you shoot it? Like, that's not real. Like, you're not going to go to jail for that. Like, that's not real life. But yeah, so like that was my impression. And then at that point, like, things started moving a little quicker. It was basically like, okay, we're out of here. And my response was, well, when are you coming back? And the response I felt was 2 weeks. I got nothing further on that. I don't know, but that's just what 2 weeks. And I got like this impression of it.
Isn't that the typical response for everything? It's
Yeah,
like,
like a long,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the longshoremen aliens or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, when does that shipment come in? 2 weeks. When are you going to have
2 weeks.
that? That built 2 weeks.
Which
It's always
operation?
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When next time we're going into port? 2
Yeah.
weeks.
I feel like it was just a satisfying response of, okay, leave us alone. But yeah, and then I got this like impression of a New York style paper with a saucer on it, almost like Independence Day, like coming through, like when we come back, everybody's gonna know, like an impression
Really?
like that. Yeah. But I mean, 2 weeks has come and gone. It's been a long time since then. So I don't know.
They don't. So the aliens that don't hold promises. They're like bad dad aliens. Okay.
Yeah.
Or it could be that their 2 weeks is different. Maybe their timeline is different. I've heard this before. Where actually, I heard someone talking about this. It was more about Bigfoot, actually, that when they appear and then they disappear and then they come back again, for them, the time limit is like
different.
maybe like the time dilation is completely different. So you
Yeah.
never know. Maybe 2 weeks could be in 2.5 years from now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Their 2 weeks is different than ours. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff like that too. I mean, and going back to just them being small ships, like, still at this point, I'm still not thinking like there's anything alive in it. Like, that thought didn't even occur to me till maybe 6 years later. I watched it's a show called Doctor Who. And this guy gets into a phone booth that's huge on the inside, and it was like then that it occurred to me, like, maybe there's something different at play, so yeah, who knows?
No, and that is great thought. Like, it's exactly like, I don't know, people who maybe not seen that, like the Doctor Who. There's also Harry Potter, when they have this tent. They set up this tent, and it's a small tent. They go inside, and it's this huge, massive thing. It's different. The space is different. Yes, and this is, and I'm going to tell you this, that we've heard this before. We've heard this before.
Where do we?
I think it was Raph. I think it was Raph was talking about this. Yeah,
that's right. He did say that.
Yeah, that it's like completely. It will look like a small craft, but when you go inside, it's completely different. It's like a different, whole different area.
Yeah. who knows? Like, yeah, who knows?
Exactly. But sorry, continue. Yes, we keep
Yeah.
interrupting your story, but it's fantastic.
No, I love the questions. We're almost to the end of it. So at this point, they're dancing around, they're moving away. I've got this impression that they're coming back in 2 weeks. I jump back in my car. I honestly couldn't tell you where my partner was at this point because I'm living my own little what the fuck moment. So I jump back in my car and I'm taking off down the street. And we are this is Indianapolis. This is downtown Indianapolis, just off of downtown Indianapolis, a very heavily populated area. I take off down the street to follow them, but at this point they're moving pretty quick. And something that was really weird for me was they were keeping with the road pattern. Like they could have, like, they're flying. They have no need to follow the roads, but so we're coming out to this road. Yeah.
OCD aliens.
Yeah. We're coming out and I come to a light. I'm coming up to a light. They've already hit the light and taken a left at the light. And
did they use their indicators? Did they signal which way they're going?
You are the police. You could have
Yeah.
Casey, issue your thing.
A citation.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. So they hang a left at the light. I finally make it up to the light and look down the street and just managed to see them maybe 2 miles away at this point.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. So like they have really taken off and they're just at the crest of a hill on a road and they're still following the road. But then they go up over the hill and back down. So they're staying, like, they're not even flying up. They're staying at a weird altitude off the deck and sticking with the road. And it was at that time I was just thinking, okay, they're gone. That's crazy to me. We just witnessed that. And then about maybe 2 or 3 seconds pass and my partner's catching up at this point. I just see 2 lights way, way off in the distance, just shoot up into outer space until I couldn't see them any further.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, that was a crazy run.
Yeah.
So
we're going to hold this thought because we got some questions, but we
come.
are going to jump to our commercial break and we're going to be right back after these messages.
With the finger.
All right, Frequenauts, we're pleased to introduce the revolutionary GG Mat and GG Belt from Global Genesis. The GG Mat is your ticket to a transformational journey right in the comfort of your own home.
Did you know that countless Americans have found solace with it in helping with cancer, autism, autoimmune disorders, and in general pain relief?
Yeah, let's not forget that they also helps with sleep issues. Without a good night's sleep, you're going to be pretty much useless the next day, which means you're not going to be able to work. No work equals no money. No money equals no ghost hunting tools.
Whether you choose to sleep on the GG mat all night or use it while indulging in your favorite Lost Frequency episode on YouTube, the possibilities are endless.
But that's not all. Let's look at the GG Belt, which takes therapy to a whole new level. You can wrap it around your neck while studying the latest information on ancient apocalypses to boost your focus or bid farewell to neck pain and tension caused by prolonged hours in front of the computer trying to find your favorite episode of The Lost Frequency.
Or you can even wrap it around your waist or your shoulders to alleviate lower back pain or shoulder discomfort after an intense dogman expedition out in the LBL.
Each device uses frequencies that can range between 1 hertz to 30 hertz.
It also has pulsed electromagnetic therapy, which has been approved by the FDA for over 40 years.
Don't waste your time with near infrared. Global Genesis uses far infrared to penetrate deep inside your body where it's actually needed. The mat and belt are the superheroes you didn't know you needed. With their grounding ability, they're able to help in resolving blood clots, poor blood supply leading to strokes, dementia, Alzheimer's, or diabetic foot.
Man, with all that going on, the only reprieve would be watching The Lost Frequency while using the mat or belt.
And lastly, they use real quality gemstones. Makes you think of Indiana Jones kind of stuff, doesn't it?
And we got a little something for our Frequenauts. If you use the code TLF50, not only do you get $50 off the Matter belt, you also get free shipping.
To take advantage of this offer, please go to www.globalgenesiscomp, that's COMP.com. The link will be provided in the show notes. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our GG mat and GG belt for 50% off. Get that TLF thing and go ahead and give yourself a good time. Hello, Dr. Ray.
50% off. No, it's not 50%. $50 off.
Oh, TLF 50 is not 50% off. Tom doesn't pay attention to commercials that he actually recorded. So, yeah. So, like, okay, this thing goes over the hill. Apparently, it's part of Google Maps or something. I don't know.
And then shoots off into the sky.
And it shoots off into the sky.
Cool.
That would be a good theory. Maybe it's Google Maps.
Yeah, it would be.
It's
not
plugged
into Google
one.
Maps. Actually, yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
So did you talk? What did you talk to your partner about? I mean, what did you guys talk about after this?
So from there, we were just kind of both in shock. I really don't know what he thought it was. We didn't really talk about that, other than the fact they were UFOs. I mean, the definition of UFOs, they were flying, and myself, an expert lookout, can't identify them.
And that's an important part. That is an important part. Yeah.
Very interesting.
It is a UFO. I'm 20 feet away from it, and I can't tell you what it is. It's flying. That's what a UFO is. So, yeah.
So, sorry.
No, that was my question. Like about the partner, he's getting into it.
No.
So from there, I just hit the radio and let him know what was going on back in the dispatch room. I did ask, like, how long have we been out on this run? It should be like a 5-minute run. And she said about 20-25 minutes, which, I mean, I don't feel like that accounts for a time loss or a whole lot of time loss, but it was that was a lot longer than that run should have taken. It's normally just a quick little 5-minute run, just over there, drive, look at this house, turn around and go back. You know what I mean? That's all we're doing. Like, we're not going into the house or checking out anything in the house.
So there's 20 minutes that are unaccounted for, basically, more or less.
Yeah.
That's significant. More, I mean, there's people who say hours and stuff like that, but 20 minutes is still significant. Maybe because they're small. I don't know. I'm shooting in the dark.
Yeah. I mean, the whole encounter, like, looking back on it, and even at the time, I mean, maybe it was 2 minutes, maybe, like, from the time we pulled up and saw them going to the time we lost them, 2-3 minutes.
Okay, and then so add that onto your 5 minutes, there's 7 minutes. So then, so it's definitely like 20 minutes of some lost time of, like, where the hell did that go? That's interesting.
Did you file a report or anything? Or did you have to file a report?
So no, like I said, we were working for campus police. It wasn't even like a county dispatch or city dispatch run, anything like that. We weren't even reporting to county or city at that time. Just the campus police there. No report. We did, of course, run back into the dispatch office and be like, yeah, we saw something. Nobody believed us at all. We were jokesters, so yeah, that's probably understandable. But we were trying to plead our case pretty hard. That morning, the director came in and we told him, and, like, he just kind of brushed us off, like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's cool, yeah, awesome, yeah." But looking back, we were talking about it, and there's nothing. There's nobody to report to. Who are you going to tell? Like, you can tell anybody in the police. You can call the mayor, the governor. There's nobody there to do anything about it. So we did give up on it pretty quickly. Neither one of us wanted to get public with it or call MUFON or try to do anything like that.
That's what I was going to say. What about MUFON? But yeah.
Yeah, I did. So I did get on MUFON's website and I did start checking them out. Like, maybe they're legit, maybe they know something. But the deeper I got into it, it just felt more of like, I don't like nerdy kids. You know what I mean? Like people who just didn't. They just wanted to theorize. Is that a word?
Theorize.
Theorize. There is.
Yeah.
Theorize what was going on, and everybody had all these different answers, like, oh, those were the reptilians, or those were the grays, or like, and everybody wanted to tell you what you saw or what it was or what you messed up about your encounter and how it was wrong. But yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't want to
nerds.
go that route with it.
Yeah, I
So
agree with you, nerds. Like, seriously, like just listen to what I'm telling you. People just
But
if
that
it
goes
doesn't
with,
fit
that goes
into a
with
box
a lot of things,
and
actually.
everything. Yes.
Yeah, like I have these very sometimes prophetic dreams, and there are people who tell me, "Oh no, this is what it means." I'm like, "No, you didn't have this dream." Like I literally had a dream that came to like was prophetic for 4 years. Within 4 years to the exact date, I had a dream, and then 4 years later, it actually happened word for word, pretty much everything that happened. And I had this conversation with a person. But people are telling me like, no, this is what it means. This is what this symbolizes. I'm like, no, you didn't have it. You don't know. You weren't there. You can't tell me what this was. And it's same thing with your scenario. Like they're telling you, oh, this is what it was, or this. Oh, you didn't see this. You saw that. You're like, no, piss off. This is what I saw. This is what I felt. This is what happened. And I really bothers me when people try to. And I understand when some people are trying to dissect it and say maybe like what about this or what about that.
What's how you do it?
I don't mind it if they propose ideas, but when they're like, no, this is what it was.
Yeah.
This is this. Oh, that bugs the shit out of me.
So many people are the experts. Like, yeah, they already all know it already. So
Yeah.
they're just trying to tell you.
So Casey, how does this like affected your life? Has there been any type of like change, like maybe the way you see things or the way you place yourself within this reality that we share? You know what I mean? Like,
yes. There's been a huge change since then. And I can't even explain it entirely, but just who I've turned into since then. I really like who I've turned into since then.
man, that's great.
Yeah, I wasn't the greatest of persons back then. And that was honestly another reason for me not wanting to go public with it was just, I mean, I'm not a drug dealer. I don't go around doing bad things or anything, but I wasn't a nice person. Like I wouldn't have been nice to people in general. And I just didn't want that attention on me or my family or things of that nature. But now it's just kind of completely changed how I feel about people. Like it's given me a lot of empathy and
Wow.
insight into just the fact knowing like there's something going on, there's something else, there's something people don't know about. Having that knowledge puts things into a much different light, a better perspective of how you want to handle life and going forward.
Has it like maybe calmed you down? Like you don't get so like, I don't like the word triggered, but you don't get so quick to be judgmental. You know what I mean? Like I found that to be like things that have happened to me too in the course of my life. You get a little older, you get a little more perspective, but for you, it's like getting hit right between the eyes with a sledgehammer and going like, okay, how do I explain this to anyone? No one believes me. Do you think maybe, Casey, I guess what I'm asking is like, do you think maybe like that mind speak, maybe something changed or clicked within your brain, or is just maybe a process of time?
I think it wasn't an overnight thing for me. It's definitely been a process of time and coming to terms with it and understanding it and trying to figure it out. I know it's bigger than I am, so I just kind of have to humble myself to figure it out.
And I got a question here now. Have you talked with your partner since? Have you guys like reminisced or talked about this since this event?
So like I said, we were jokesters. We weren't the greatest of people. He parted ways with the department shortly thereafter on not the greatest of terms. And he did call me and asked, "Hey, who do we tell? What do we do about this? Like, where do we go from here?" And my response was, I was angry and triggered by it, and I just told him the only thing he could do was forget about it, put it out of his mind. Nobody can do anything. Nobody can help us, and it's just going to drive you crazy for the rest of your life unless you can forget about it. And that's how I left it with him.
Wow.
I didn't talk to him for years. I did hit him up a couple years ago, just asking him, "Hey, do you remember that?" He said yes. And I just asked if, if things ever came to light and I needed him to back me up, would he ever be willing to talk or go on the record for anything? And he said, yeah, under specific circumstances. So
wow,
yeah.
That is interesting. And that is great. It's kind of strange that you were the ones in the beginning saying, we don't talk about this, we keep this under wraps, and now here we are.
He kind of gave him like bad advice, and then he kind of turned it around the other way, where you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool, man." I'm so happy that it gave you a different perspective and the way to look at things that made you. Because the thing you said at the beginning of the show that you wanted to promote something, which was like good feeling and positive vibes, is definitely has to be part of it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And the beer too, I imagine too, right? The beer too.
I think so. I think they gave me special powers.
Exactly. Like Samson, like reverse Samson. Yes. Samson was the one who had like this super strength, but it was due to his hair. And if he cut his hair, he lost his strength.
I can only think of the Chappelle movie, the ones where they smoke weed the whole time. Where his friend goes to jail.
Oh, Half-Baked.
I want to talk to Samson. That's the only thing I can think of.
Samson. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. That is a amazing, really intriguing adventure.
Have you ever heard of any other things that are similar to yours? Like small crafts like this?
So the craft, I mean, I've Googled, I've searched through different forums and stuff, but no, like the one I saw was very specific. The closest thing I've come to is some recounts of Roswell and how the framing wood in that rice paper was like a burnt, stained wood. And there's several accounts of Roswell beams looking like burnt wood.
So crazy.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of.
Have you ever drawn it out or gotten someone to, or anything like that?
I've tried. I am a horrible artist, and it's
me too.
You said these things were on roads. These are following the roads. Did anyone else see this? Or it's just?
Well, it was like middle of the night, right? You said like 2 a.m. or something, or 1
a.m. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't recall any other cars on the road. But to be honest, even if there was, I wouldn't have noticed them. I was just so focused in on what the fuck just happened. Sorry, but yeah.
No, that's okay, man. No problem.
No
problems. Words are words, man.
No, and that's kind of unique too, because there was a sighting. I was told about a sighting here in Mexico. That's where we are. Sorry, I don't know if I ever said that. We're in Mexico. Yeah. So there was a sighting where this UFO went across this very close to this highway, very, very busy highway where there was always traffic. And when this UFO was there was zero traffic. It was like, it was almost such a phenomenon to see the UFO, let alone there being no traffic. And the person who saw it communicated that they were surprised that they didn't know why there was no traffic at this time either. Like it was part of the phenomena as well.
It's like as if they paused Sim City or something.
It's exactly it. It's like they hit pause on everything else except for the localized area, which you were a part in. Yeah.
So true. I love the way you look at it too, because a lot of people are affected by these things, for better or worse, but like some are very, very negative because they've had very bad encounters. You just had like an encounter where it's just like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it changed. That's incredible, dude. So, Rye, did he say that he had?
Yeah. So do you have any other encounters, stories, any other phenomena that you want to?
Any breakdancing tips?
Yeah. So something. Well, let me go back to the property, the national park property. I am fascinated too because the missing 411 or whatever.
Yes.
With the national parks. Now this is a national park, but it is a neighborhood, so it's a historic district. Are you familiar with like the UAP congressional hearings and all
Yes.
that stuff going on?
Yeah.
So, Andre Carson? He was leading
No.
the original UAP hearings
No, I
Okay,
don't.
okay.
in the House. But yeah, he's our senator. Something cool about that though.
Neil's been talking about it.
His aunt was a former senator of ours, Julia Carson, and when she passed away, he took over. Now she was the first female and black woman senator the state had, and he took over kind of a historic seat from her. And I just happened to be there in my sheriff's deputy uniform the day he piled out of his old beater car, and I walked him in so that he could file his paperwork to run. And then here it is all these years later. He's leading up this whole thing. Finding out later, I knew it at the time, and I don't know why I never connected the dots, but Andre Carson lived in this neighborhood. And now he's heading up this UAP thing, the hearing portions of it. So going back, he lived right across from this sighting. He was the house across the street when all this was going down. So for me, that was
That's
super
intriguing.
That's
Coincidental,
a nice
very
connection.
coincidental, very good connection
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
So was he like talking to you while you were walking into the building to file his paperwork? Yeah, I've seen some stuff. Like, did he say anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nothing like
He's very
that.
professional. Okay.
No, and that was years before my sighting when I walked him into the city county building. But yeah, I have reached out to his office a couple times, just trying to ask, have you seen anything in the neighborhood? Did you have any encounters there? Like, why are you so interested in this subject now? But yeah,
Oh.
so that was just really, really kind of connecting
Yeah.
some dots that may or
Well,
may
maybe-
not
Of course,
be
of
there.
Maybe
course.
he'll hear this podcast and he'll be like, he'll hit you up, and then you guys can like go out bowling or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. And then so some other encounters since then would be I explain them as vivid dreams.
Okay.
Reading books, it would more commonly be called an out-of-body experience for sure.
Cool.
But I have these issues where, like, I wake up in my bed and look over, and there's little, like, 2.5 foot green guys with sharp metal teeth. And they're going through my sock drawer or my gun safe, one of the two. But
Wow.
yeah, so
Very mischievous.
yeah, there's always like 4 or 5 of them in there in the closet or just hanging out and just like doing that. But as soon as I realize like I'm awake and something's going on and I'm sitting up and I'm noticing like the room looks like the walls are see-through and it's like a blue light and like everything's weird and I can see through things, and I know it's not, I'm definitely not awake because you don't see through walls when you're awake. So
Yeah.
but it's always the same reoccurring thing. They're going through my sock drawer or gun safe, which are close together, and so I've moved rooms and it's still the same thing.
Shit.
But so as I'm waking up, I'm looking at them and they notice me and I'm noticing them, and like they grit and bare their teeth like they're trying to look mean and whatnot. But I'm not scared of them by any means. They just have this, like, I get the impression they're trying to look scary. But then somebody has a magic wand, and I don't know how else to explain it, like a Harry Potter magic wand, and somebody points it at me and says go to sleep, and I fight it and I fight it and I fight it, but here I go and I lay down and I go back to sleep. And
You know what that is?
What's he?
You know what this is, Casey. I mean, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but I have this very distinct feeling that it's more than what you think.
like what?
I think you're being abducted, dog. I'm gonna be wrong. I'm gonna be, because that to me,
I
there's
definitely think there's a connection.
parts
I
of it-
wouldn't say maybe abducted,
but
but
there's
maybe
something.
visited.
Something.
Yes, I totally agree. That's what I think as well. Like you,
Uh,
like
And it's always-
this encounter has not ended for you. This has been the 2 weeks, and they're back.
Yeah, I guess maybe they come every 2 weeks.
Exactly. How often has this happened to you?
That I can remember maybe 5 or 6 times. But it's always like first thing in the morning, like as soon as I wake up, and it's like, and these are the mornings where I finally get to sleep in. And I think I told you guys before, I don't sleep. Like I'm
Right.
up at 3:30, 4 at the latest every morning. This morning I was up at 1:30, but these are the mornings I get to sleep in till like 6 and it's daylight out.
So it's
But
daylight
yeah.
as well. So you can see them. It's light in your room. It's not like it's dark in your room.
Well, no, so like I get to sleep in till that late after these.
Oh.
And then but I always wake up with that first thought, like, okay, where you at? Like that's what I wake up with. Like that's my last thought. Like, oh, where'd you go? So it's not like I wake up thinking about something else or a dream I'm having or
That's
I think a little bit more. I'm not. I don't like being this dude, but I do think it's a little bit more coincidental.
Yeah. I do too. Like we did have one gentleman on maybe 3-4 episodes ago, and he talked about like going through walls, like being able to go through walls, like he was being abducted and he was being phasing through these walls. When you're saying you can see through walls and this blue light, he talks about this blue light.
He would taste the plaster. He would,
like literally he was levitating and his feet first, and he would be going through the wall. And when his mouth went through the wall, he could taste the plaster. He could taste, and then he went wood and everything.
Did anybody have a magic wand by chance?
No, I have not heard that, which is interesting.
So why do you feel it's a magic wand? Is there like a leader or something, or it's just something that pops in your head?
No, they all look the same. It's just, I mean, I can't explain what it is he's holding.
It's like some sort of device,
like this long, thin.
Like
something.
like I'm thinking of Men in Black, where it's like where they phase you out, but this is go to sleep.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And you notice this? You notice this as you're going to sleep, this thing, or is it as you're waking up? I'm
waking up.
He's waking up, and then like it's like okay, poof, and then you come out of this invisible wall or see-through wall thing.
No. So he wakes. Sorry, I'm just.
He's gonna.
Yeah. So you wake up. He sees these things, watching them. They see him go to sleep. He falls back asleep in his bed, and then he wakes up around 6 a.m. and he's like, "Where are they? Am I getting that right?"
Yes.
Yeah, you're having like moonwalk
visitation. You're having some visitations.
People are coming by for the barbecue, dude. There's something happening, and it doesn't bother you and it doesn't scare you.
It doesn't scare me by any means. My instinct is to go for him. Like that. As soon as I see him, I want to get up and be like, "What are you?" and just get right up on him and see him. Like. So no, I'm not scared of them. The teeth, like they have these metal teeth that just fit perfectly together, like saw blades, like fake. I mean, like something like that would have to be fake. You're not growing teeth that fit perfectly together like that, like cartoonish almost. And that's how I feel like it's not even real. Like the teeth weren't even real. Like they're just showing them as defensive posture or something. It just didn't make sense.
And you say they're about 2 to 3 feet high or something like that, or
about 2.5, 3 feet tall.
And what is the closest you've ever gotten to one? Were you always stay in bed and then you're like boom back out, or have you actually gotten out of bed?
I've set up and I've gotten feet on the floor, and that's about as far as I've made it. A foot on the floor.
So the crafts was about 3 foot high. They stand about 3 foot high. They could be sitting down into like single person crafts too. Another way to looking at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It could be them. Yeah. They're just.
I think so.
Like, has anything happened to you before this night where the event happened, or was there anything leading up to it, or was just boom?
I mean, nothing super crazy. I've had, I don't want to say weird experiences, just like sleep problems my whole life. But yeah. Wow. Nothing like that for sure.
He's been definitely singled out somehow.
After seeing those crafts, it's kind of like it's and this is something that is not uncommon. Like uncommon is once there's been an event, things continue to happen after. It's kind of like you've opened a door and certain things. Some people open a door to everything. Some people open a door to like the UFO door. Oh, now I see aliens and everything like that. Or the Bigfoot one. You know, people see a Bigfoot and then it's Bigfoot all the time, or ghosts and it's ghosts all the time. Now, I do have another question. So, have you Googled or tried to find anything of these creatures
that looks like them?
That looks like them.
Yeah, I've searched, but again, nothing
close.
sticks out. I mean, I have come across a couple things about magic wands, like them holding stuff to make people go to sleep. I've come across like 2 accounts maybe like that. But yeah, nothing like
would
little
you
metal teeth beings.
If you have any of that saved, would you be able to send that to us? You know, I'd love to put that in our, like, the links in our notes or something like that, because I think that would be fantastic. Now, this has been really interesting. Is there anything else that you want to share before we head to a close here?
No, I mean, I think that's about it. Do you guys have anything? Like, what are your theories on what's going on here?
So
I don't know.
I was thinking of John Lilly, not Eli Lilly.
John Lilly.
See, I was bugging me. It's bugging me. I'm so sorry. It was bugging me the whole time, but I don't want to look like a dummy or whatever, a douchebag, whatever. And look at the phone. I'm trying to.
Well, isn't there Eli Apple? He's a football player who plays for the Dolphins.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry, but okay. So back to this. So my theory is, yeah, definitely. Like, you saw UFOs. They connected with you, and they established some sort of link. Okay, especially with that mind speak, and you are now linked in. So I really believe that they're everywhere. All these things are everywhere, and it's that we don't actually see it. But now that you've actually seen something, now you're more open to seeing them. It's kind of like you're tuned in, like almost like a radio, almost like a frequency, That's why we kind of go with this lost frequency, You found the lost frequency, and now you're tuned into this frequency. So now you will see them better. Same thing with like psychics or mediums. They tune into a certain frequency where they can speak to the other side. Now you're tuned into this frequency, which is aliens and UFOs. It's like, welcome to the world of high strangeness, high weirdness, because you're part of it now.
And they might be actually using you as a medium, and now they're using us as a medium to get this out. So thank you, little aliens, with your sharp teeth. You're giving us some cool. Some cool.
Like I will say, like, this is
weirdness.
Yeah. Like this is the first time I've heard of those types of creatures. We've heard of many smaller creatures, like 2 to 3 feet. In our area, we have something called Alushas, which are kind of like homunculuses, elementals, kind of like they're kind of created, kind of like a golem almost in a way. They're created, but those are more of created by human hands. Now, these are more of alien interdimensional creatures, which are coming in some way. I have heard of smaller entities like the Greys, but
there's also the large Greys. Remember,
yes, there's the large Greys too. So, but you're talking, these are green though, right?
Green, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen a lot of green.
No, let's go into, like, of course, that's the stereotypical kind of one, is everybody assumes it to be green, but in fact, you see a lot more of like the ashen gray colors or white pale skin. Can you describe these creatures, like their facial features, a little bit more in depth? I know you said they had metal teeth that almost looked like comical, like it was just added in.
So I mean, it's going to be like your typical alien, the almond shaped eyes that come down to a point. Everything else is the same. And no ears, maybe holes, no nose, just little holes.
And then the head shape.
The diamond head shape, or it's round on top and
kind of comes down more and point down.
It's like a guitar pick or something.
Yeah, guitar pick shape. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then metal, like aluminum, like shiny metal teeth.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then they're green, and that's, I mean, to me, like, I've seen like people's illustrations of a gray, and that's what it looks like. Only they're green and metal teeth. And
why do you feel they're in your sock drawer or trying to go into your gun cabinet?
What are you hiding in your sock drawer, Casey?
Exactly.
Rye, he's a detective on the side.
So I mean, my thing, I thought maybe it was my gun safe they were going into, which again, I don't know why. I just have one gun in there.
Is it a
And then when
handgun?
yeah,
Is it
and
similar
then
to the one that you had when you were on the force?
very maybe
Interesting.
identical.
Interesting. The
Maybe
one that you were going to
identical.
pull, the one that he was going to pull out and shoot
Block
at.
9 or whatever they use on
Yeah,
the force
but
nowadays.
the one that he was going to pull out and
exactly.
shoot that he was thinking about shooting at the
Right.
UFO, and now they're
They're interested in your gun. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would
So,
aliens
well,
be interested in your gun?
I moved rooms and I thought so the socks and the guns weren't next to each other anymore.
Okay.
But then so while I'm trying to figure it out the next day, I'm like, so they're after the guns. That's what it is. They're after the guns. And I see a pile of my socks over there next to the guns. So I don't know.
What the
But
hell, dude?
well, so a lot of people, and I don't know, like it's like stereotypical. But where do you hide your gun usually? If you don't put it in your gun,
Yeah, you put it in
locket,
a top drawer in your
and your sock drawer or your underwear drawer. You know, that's where.
And if you get the big ones, you can actually put it in the sock.
What do they need my gun for, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe they're trying to, you know.
It's like they're going to put it in a museum.
No, they want to like take the firing pin out. They want to, what's that called when you want to like
Disarm?
Like disarm it. Yeah, maybe they're like into disarm it because they're worried that maybe the next time they come to visit, their ship crafts comes to visit, you're going to shoot at.
I don't know, man. It's definitely
Okay.
on a level of strange.
Now here's a question. Okay, and this is a question they ask some of the Bigfoot people: is would you take the shot? Okay, so if you saw Bigfoot, would you shoot it? Now, in your context of a UFO, if you saw the UFO again, would you shoot at it again?
Yes.
Oh, maybe that's why they want to go to your gun drawer because they know that you're going to shoot at them.
Yes, you see.
Like, I told you, the
I was going to-
So I mean, like the Bings, no. Like I'm not. I couldn't. I
Yeah.
don't think I could bring myself to do that. But to
Okay.
shoot at that craft, I would have done it. Yeah. Like
So you
looking
don't find
back,
them to
I
be
still
like,
wish I would have done it.
So you don't find them to be like, I don't know, menacing. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Mean, evil.
Yeah, he says he's just maybe they're more of a pain in the ass, or maybe it's just like, what are you doing now? Or you're just more curious. Are you more curious about them than anything?
Yes. Yes. I am more curious than anything. Like nothing they do makes sense.
Okay. If this happens again, and or have you tried mind speak to them?
You're talking about like the night
The
encounters.
knife thing, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now,
I don't get a chance. I'm awake. I see them. They notice me. I notice them. They notice me, and it's
Yeah.
immediate. Like you're seeing a wild animal, and you're both just staring each other down for a split second, and then it's
Yeah.
immediate with the go to sleep. The only thing I got now is go for the guy with the wand.
why not? Okay, so my suggestion is try to talk to them in mind speak next time if you have the opportunity. Be like, I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to know what you're doing. Something like that,
My suggestion is to put on an alien like costume and look like them, so they think you're one of them. So he's gonna actually go get it. Oh,
His pajamas.
All
Nice.
right.
He can blend right in.
right. So when you
There we go.
that way when you wake up, they don't know. They're like, "Is this? He's one of us." And then you have a chance to get the wand guy.
So for those who are watching,
listening.
just listening, not watching, he just brought out a pair of pajamas that has like a hood that goes over your head a little bit, and it has like the almond. It's green with the almond eyes
And
on it.
full disclosure, Casey, the whole time there's a mirror back there at your closet door. There's a mirror back there. I'm looking for anything in your mirror. Just give me something.
Yeah, it's like let's see. Oh, there's the alien right there. There's an alien.
Like something from the movie Poltergeist, where they
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I
that
look
was
for
cool.
him too.
So he thought of it too, dude. Me and Casey are like mind melding right now too. Don't do it too much because I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to these aliens too. It's like one of the, like you're at like one of those long distance connections from the 90s. I ain't into that.
So, I am curious. Have you had any other guests that have any similar encounters with out of body experience? Like this?
Out of body experience. Like, I don't think what you're talking about is actually out of body experience. Though I think, well, I actually think that you're out of phase, not out of body, but out of phase. Okay, and that's what Raph was when he was going through the walls and everything.
Right.
He was out of like that's what we talked about. He was out of phase. So that is what I feel it is, not out of body, because out of body means like I have a friend, my wife's friend. She does it on a regular basis. She's out of her body and she's trying to get something from the fridge and can't. Like she's walking around and everything. This you're out of phase. You're in the same phase as these aliens, and that's because you're in their frequency, as I was saying earlier. So you're kind of not in, in our frequency, in our time. You're kind of bounced out. You are out of sync. You are in their sync. Okay. That's a good way of saying it. And that's why you can see it. And they're like, go to sleep. And I really believe that has something to do with dreaming, with the dream time, like Moises, when Moises was being attacked by
that thing.
That thing. I actually believe that our dreams take us to a different reality, a different frequency. And I think that's what it is you're waking up while still attached to that frequency. And that is why you're able to see them. That is my take on it. I would say I'm not a dream expert, but I have a lot of experience with that side of it. That is, and again, I'm not telling you that that's what it is. I'm just trying to theorizing. My hypothesis.
I mean, that's probably the best I've heard so far. So yeah.
Wow. Go ahead, Rye.
Okay. Let me keep going.
And I'm pretty proud of myself because I had a really good in sync joke that I didn't use. So I was thinking out of sync, much better band. I was just out of sync.
Nice.
Yeah. So we run into all types of things on the show,
and that's one thing I really do like is like piecing these puzzles together. It's like, okay, I got your information now, and then it's very similar with Raph's. And then we have another guest who was just on in between you two. She had a completely opposite experience where it was very negative. So it's like, okay, and it's so that one we're not going to bring it in, but it's kind of like we can see some similarities all throughout all of these. And it's kind of like, okay, with those, maybe we can bring some answers, bring some clarity or just connect you with these people. Like Raph he goes, Raphael Skits. He really goes into a lot of details.
Raphael Lugo.
Yeah, I should connect you with him. He changed his life, which is interesting. He changed his life too. He was really into he did gangster rap and this kind of thing. Yeah, he did a lot of gangster rap, but now he does, what does he call it? Like high vibrational or
it's just like positive music.
Music. So he changed his lifestyle from being this low vibration to this high vibration as well. Which is another similarity that you have.
Maybe that's the way they change the world for the better. These aliens.
Well, if you're up for it, I would like to have like maybe Raphael, yourself, Casey, and Ginger all on. Maybe discussing, having bringing your experiences together to see the similarities between them. He did contact a lot of people about this, and he actually contacted a psychologist who specializes in this. And the psychologist was like, yeah, you've really experienced it. Because he's like, am I just going nuts? Am I just going insane? Am I losing my mind? And they're like, no, this is legitimately happening to you.
In all honesty, too, Casey, I don't know you well. I just only know you in this short interview time. You seem to have been taking it. You've taken it very well, and I don't know it's because of your mental toughness or something is changing you, in which allows you to deal with it. I guess, for lack of a better term,
submission.
All right.
I can't beat it, so I'm not going to worry about it.
There you go, dude.
It's stronger than me, so whatever it is, it's smarter than me.
Yeah, man. So we Ryan and I appreciate very much that you came on and spent this time with us and shared your incredible experience.
And we're going to keep in contact because I do want to bring you guys together for another episode. Maybe, yourself and Raph, maybe Ginger. I know Ginger has a little bit of different experiences, but even just you two guys, I think it would be maybe you can move forward and get some more answers, talking to each other.
Yeah. And tell me how that green suit works out by the way.
This is year 2, so
year 2 also they work so well. All right.
Okay, and one last thing before we head out: when was the last time you had one of these experiences with these? We'll say, when's the last time you were out of phase? I think that's a way we should talk about it.
I'd say it's probably been 7 months now. It's been a while.
Wow,
not that long.
Ain't that long ago. It's beginning of summer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, this has been fantastic. And Casey, thank you so much for being part of the Lost Frequency. It was very intriguing, very interesting, and
very fun conversation, very lighthearted, but also very deep, man. We appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, no, you guys were awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. So that was Casey Hammond, and
like his first experience. His first experience was very detailed, and like he was a what do you say, like a spotter, and he trained people to be a spotter.
Yes.
So he was the guy to sit there and say, no, this wasn't a weather balloon. This wasn't this. This wasn't.
Right.
This wasn't an F-14 following the.
We had an old Navy guy who used to be in the Navy too, who actually seen a UFO episode.
Yeah, that was George Lunsford.
Lunsford, right? And
Yeah.
he was a spotter too, I think, of sorts.
Yeah, because
or gunner or something like this, and he actually seen something that
on
didn't
the
fit
ship.
in. So when Casey's saying these things, because I'm a former military, when you actually do your job in the military, it's very thorough. They actually really go through and they make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, because we can't make mistakes out there, people. And if he was, I think he said he was an instructor of sorts, so he knows what he's talking about.
Casey was training other people.
Right. So thank you for backing that up. So he really knows what he's talking about. And remember, you're listening to us on YouTube right now. Do us a favor, like, subscribe. Once again, you keep hearing it, everyone says it, but it really helps us out, and we really appreciate it.
And on that note,
you're listening to Lost Frequency Podcast, where we bring the periphery into focus.
Or we phase out too. We phase in and out.
Yeah, because it's out of phase, and when it's in the periphery, we bring it into phase.
Exactly. Perfect. I like that.
He's incredible.
We close with good night, good luck, and God bless all of you on the good earth.
Long live the cause of freedom.